begin at the beginning. It is spring, moonless night in the small town, starless and Bible black. Cobble streets silent, and the hunched quarters and rabbits wood limping invisible down to the slow black, crow black fishing boat bobbing sea. The houses are blind as moles, though moles see fine tonight in the snouting velvet dingles. Oh, blind as Captain Cat there, in the muffled middle, by the pump and the town clock. The shops in mourning, the welfare hall in widow's weeds, and all the people of the lulled and dumbfound town sleeping now. Hush! Babies are sleeping. The farmers, the fishers, the tradesmen, and the pensioners, cobbler, school teacher, postman, and publican, the undertaker, and the fancy woman, drunkard, dressmaker, preacher, policeman, oh, the webfoot cockle women, and the tidy wives. Young girls lie bedded soft or glide in their dreams with rings and trousseau, bridesmaided by glowworms down the aisles of the oaken plain wood. The boys, the dreaming wicked, or at the bucking ranches of the night and the jolly rogered sea. And the anthracite statues of the horses sleep in the fields, and the cows in the byres, and the dogs in the wet-nosed yards, and the cats nap in the slant corners, or low, sly, streaking and kneeling on the one cloud of the roofs. You can hear the dew falling, and the hushed town breathing. Only your eyes are unclosed to see the black and folded town fast and slow asleep. And you alone can hear the invisible star fall, the darkest before dawn, minutely dew-graced stir of the black, dark-filled sea, where the Arethusa, the curlew, and the skylark, Zanzibar, Rhiannon, the rover, the cormorant, and the star of Wales tilt and ride. Listen. It is night. Moving in the streets, the processional, salt, slow, musical wind in Coronation Street and Cockle Row. 'Tis the grass growing on Harrogate Hill. Dewfall, starfall, sleep the birds in Milkwood. Listen, it is night in the chill Scott Chapel, hymning in bonnet and brooch and bombazine black butterfly choker and bootlace bow, coughing like nanny goats, sucking mintos, 40 winking hallelujah. It is night in the forehead, quiet as a domino, in Ocky Milkman's lofts, like a mouse with gloves, in Dynebread's bakery, flying like black flour. It is tonight in Donkey Street, trotting silent with seaweed on its walls along the cockle cobbles past curtain fern pot, text and trinket, harmonium, holy dresser, watercolours down my hand, china dog, and rosy tin tea caddy. It is night, neddying among the snuggeries of babies. Look, is night. Dumbly, royally winding through the combination cherry trees, going through the graveyard of Bethesda with winds gloved and folded and dew-daubed, tumbling by the sailor's arms. Time passes. Listen. Time passes. Come. Closer now.
Only you can hear the houses sleeping in the streets, in the slow, deep, salt and silent, black, bandaged night.
Only you can see in the blinded bedrooms, the combs and petticoats over the chairs,
the jugs and basins,
the glasses of tea.
Thou shalt not on the wall.
And the yellowing, dicky bird watching pictures of the dead.
Only you can hear and see, behind the eyes of the sleepers, the movements and countries and mazes.
And colours and dismays and rainbows.
And tunes and wishes.
Flights and fall and despairs, beat seas of their dreams.
From where you are, you can hear their dreams.
Captain Cat, the retired blind sea captain, asleep in his bunk in the seashell ship-in-bottled ship-shaped best cabin of schooner house, dreams of never such seas as any that swamped the decks of his SS Kidwelly, bellying over the bedclothes, and jellyfish slipperies sucking him down so deep into the daily dark, where the fish come biting out and nibble him down to his wishbone, and the long drowned nuzzle up to him.
Remember me, Captain?
You're dancing, Williams.
I lost my step in Nantucket.
Do you see me, Captain? The white bone talking? I'm Tom Fred, the donkey man. We shared the same girl once. Her name was Mrs. Probert.
Rosie Probert, 33 Duck Lane. Come on up, boys. I'm dead.
Hold me, Captain. I'm Jonah Jarvis. Come to a bad end. Very enjoyable.
Alfred Pomeroy Jones, sea lawyer, born in Mumbles, sung like a linnet, crowned you with a flagon, tattooed with mermaids, thirst like a dredger, died of blisters.
This scarlet hole is
Kirby Bevan. Tell my auntie it was me that pawned the Ormaloo clock.
Aye, Kirby.
Tell my missus no, I never.
I never done what she said.
Yes,
I never.
yes, they did.
And who brings coconuts and shawls and parrots to my Gwen now?
out it above.
Is there rum and lava bread?
Bosoms and muffins.
Concertinas, Ebenezer's bed.
Fighting and onions.
Sparrows and daisies.
Tinkers in a jam jar.
Buttermilk and whippets.
Rockabye baby.
Washing on the line.
And old girls in the snug.
How's the tenors in Go Lice?
Who milks the cows in nice Gwen?
When she smiles, is there dimples? What's the smell of parsley?
Oh, my dead dears. From where you are, you can hear in Cockerell, in the spring moonless night, Miss Price, dressmaker and sweet shopkeeper, dream of her lover. Tall as the town clock tower, Samson syrup, gold mane, whacking side and piping hot, thunderbolt face and barnacle-breasted, trailing up the cockles with his eyes like blow lamps, stooping low over her lonely loving hot water bottle.
Me Vanway Price.
Mr. Log Edwards!
I am a draper, mad with love. I love you more than all the flannelette and calico, Candlewick, Dimity, Crash, Merino, Tusto, Crepton, Crepon, Poplan, Mistlin, Ticking and Twill in the whole cloth whole of the world. I have come to take you away to my emporium on the hill where the change hums on wires. Throw away your little bed socks and your Welsh wool knitted jacket. I will warm the sheets like an electric toaster. I will lie by your side like the Sunday roast.
I will knit you a wallet of forget-me-not blue, for the money to be comfy, I will warm your heart by the fire so that you can slip it in under your vest when the shop is closed.
Mit Vaidui, before the mice gnaw at your bottoms raw, will you say?
Yes, Mog! Yes, Mog! Yes, yes, yes!
And all the bells of the tills of the town shall ring for our wedding!
Come now! Drift up the dock. Come up the drifting sea dock street now. Where Evans the Death, the Undertaker, laughs high and loud in his sleep, and curls up his toes as he sees upon waking 50 years ago Snow lie deep in the goose field behind his sleeping house. He runs out into the field where his mother is making wash cakes in the snow, and he steals a fistful of snowflakes and currants and climbs back to bed to eat them sweet and cold under the warm white sheets, while his mother dances in the snow kitchen, crying out for her lost currants. And in the little pink-eyed cottage next to the Undertaker lie alone the 17 snoring gentle stone of Mr. Waldo, rabbit catcher, barber, herbalist, cat doctor, quack. His fat pink hands palms up over the patchwork quilt, his black boots neat and tidy in the washing basin, his bowler on a nail above the bed, a milk stout and a slice of cold bread pudding under the pillow, and, tripping in the dark, he dreams of
this little piggy went to market, this little piggy stayed at home, this little piggy had roast beef, this little piggy had none, and this little piggy went all the way home to
Waldo! Waldo!
Yes, blood when love.
Oh, what'll the neighbours say? What'll the neighbours?
Poor Mrs. Waldo. What she put up with.
Never should have married.
And if she didn't have to.
Same as her mother.
Now there's a husband for you.
Bad as his
And you
father.
know where he ended?
Up in the asylum.
Crying for his mother.
Every Saturday.
He hasn't got a leg.
And carried on.
With that Mrs. E.T.
Up
Morris.
in the quarry.
Seen her baby.
Oh, this guy's
It makes my heart bleed.
What do you do for drink?
He sold the piano.
And no sewing machine.
Falling in gutter.
Talking to the lamppost.
Using language.
Singing in the W.
Poor Mrs. Waldo.
Oh, Waldo! Waldo!
Hush, love, hush. I'm widower Waldo now.
Waldo! Waldo!
Yes, Mum.
What will the neighbours say? What will the neighbours?
Black as a chimney,
Ringing doorbells.
breaking windows,
Making mud pies.
stealing gun.
Shocking. Worse.
I saw him in the bushes.
Playing bookings.
Send him to bed without any supper.
Give him cellar pods and lock him in the dock.
Off to the
Off
reformatory.
to the reformatory.
Let him with a slipper on his BTM. Waldo! Waldo! What you doing with our Matti? Give us a kiss, Matti Richards.
Give us a canny, Dad.
I only got half the need.
Lips is a canny.
La 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 la.
Will you take this woman, Matti Richards?
Dulcie Prothero,
Effie Devon.
level the blue pot.
Mrs. Flusher.
Bloodwen Bowen.
To be your awful wedded wife.
No! No!
Now, in an iceberg white, wholly laundered crinoline nightgown, under virtuous silver sheets, in her spruced and scoured, dust-defying bedroom, in Trinity Lady, a house of pay guest in top of town, Mrs. Ogmore Pritchard, widow, twice, of Mr. Ogmore, linoleum, retired, and Mr. Pritchard, failed bookmaker, who maddened by besom swabbing and scrubbing, the voice of the vacuum cleaner and the fumal polish, ironically swallowed disinfectant, fidgets in her sleep, wakes in a dream, and nudges in the ribs. Dead Mr. Ogmore, dead Mr. Pritchard, ghostly on either side.
Mr. Ogmore! Mr. Pritchard! It is time to inhale your balsam.
Oh, Mrs. Ogmore.
Oh, Mrs.
Richard.
Soon it will be time to get up. Tell me your tasks in order.
I must put my pyjamas in the drawer marked pyjamas. I must take my cold bath, which is good for me. I must wear my flannel bands to ward off sciatica. I must dress behind the curtain and put on my apron. I must blow my nose.
In the garden, if you please.
In a piece of tissue paper which I afterwards burn.
I must take my salts, which are nature's friend.
I must boil the drink in water because of germs.
I must make my herb tea, which is free from tannin.
And have a charcoal biscuit, which is good for me.
I may smoke one pipe of asthma mixture.
In the woodshed, if you please.
Dust the parlour! And spray the canary.
I must put on rubber gloves and search the peak for fleas.
I must dust the blinds and then I must raise them.
And before you let the sun in, mind it whited shoes.
In Butcher Beynon, Gossamer Beynon, daughter, school teacher, dreaming deep, daintily feathers under a fluttering hammock of chicken feathers, in a slaughterhouse that has chintz curtains and a three-piece suite, and finds, to no surprise, a small, rough-ready man with a bushy tail, winking in a paper carrier.
At last, my love.
Sighs Gossamer Beynon, and the bushy tail wags rude and ginger.
No!
Cries all the Morgan, the organist, in his dreams.
There is music and perturbation in Coronation Street. All the spouses are honking like geese, and the babies singing opera. P.C. Artilleries has his truncheon out and is playing cadenzas by the pump. All the cows in Sunday meadows ring like reindeer, and on the roof of Handel Villas in Ormond Welfare, hoofing, bloom and in the moon.
Hockey milkman, round the street of Cockle Street, is emptying his churns into the Dowie River.
Regardless of expense.
And weeping like a funeral. P.C. Artilleries melts out of bed, dead to the dark and still following, and drags out his helmet from under the bed. Somewhere, deep in the back locker of his sleep, a mean voice murmurs.
You'll be sorry for this in the morning.
And he goes back to bed. His helmet swashes in the dark. Willy-nilly postman, asleep up street, walks the 14 miles to deliver the post as he does every day of the night, and rat-a-tats hard and sharp on Mrs. Willy-nilly. Don't spank me, please, teacher, whimpers his wife at his side. But every night of her married life, she has been late to school. Sinbad sailor, above the tap room of the Sailor's Arms, hugs his damp pillow, whose secret name is
Gossamer Beynon.
Mrs. Rose Cottage's eldest male, and peels her pink and white skin. In a furnace, in a tower, in a cave, in a waterfall, in a wood. And waits there, raw as an onion, for Mr. Right to leap up the burning tall hollow splashes of leaves, like a brilliant time tract.
Call me Dolores, like they do in the stories.
Alone until she dies. Bessie Baker. I am born in the workhouse, smelling in a cowshed, stores pace and gruff, on a couch of straw in a loft in Salt Lake Farm, and picks a posy of daisies to place on the grave of Gomer Owen, who kissed her once by the pigsty when she wasn't looking. Never kissed her again, although she was looking all the time. And the inspectors of cruelty fly down into the dreams of Mrs. Butcher Beynon to persecute Mr. Beynon for selling
Owl meat, dog's eyes, man chop.
Mr. Beynon, in Butcher's bloody apron, spring heels down Coronation Street, a finger, not his own, in his mouth. Straight-faced in his cunning sleep, he pulls at the legs of his dreams and,
Hunting on pigback, shoots down the wild giblets.
no!
my foxy darling.
Now behind the eyes and secrets of the dreamers in the streets rocked to sleep by the sea. A sea that tidbits and topsy-turvies, bobs and buttertops, bags and bones, ash and rind and dandruff and nail bearings, saliva and snowflakes and molted feathers and dreams. The wrecks and sprats and shells and fish bones, whale juice and moonshine and small salt brine, dished up by the hidden sea. The owls are hunting. Look, over Bethesda gravestones, one hoots and swoops and catches a mouse by Hannah Reese, beloved wife. And in Coronation Street, which you alone can see, it is so dark under the chapel in the skies, the Reverend Eli Jenkins, poet, preacher, turns in his deep towards dawn sleep and dreams of
Eisteth or die.
Intricately rhymes to the music of Cruth and Pibgorn all night long in his druid seedy night in a beer tent, Blackwood Parks. Mrs. Organ Morgan, groceress, Pearl Grey, like a dormouse, paused to her ears, plunges.
Silence.
Mr. Pugh, schoolmaster, fabulous asleep. To be sleeping.
Murder!
Slugs Foxy around the droop of his nightcap and dreams of murder. And in Donkey Street, thy bread, Holly Garter, and noble boyo, sigh before the dawn that is about to be, and dream of harems.
Babies.
Nothing. Time passes. Listen. Time passes. An owl flies home past Bethesda to a chapel in an oak. And the dawn reaches up. Stand on this hill. This is Clare Hill. Old as the hills, high, cool, and green. And from this small circle of stones, made not by druids, but by Mrs. Beynon's bidding, you can see all the town below you sleeping in the first of the dawn. You can hear the lovesick wood pigeons mooning and bang. A dog barks in his sleep, farmyards away. The town ripples like a lake in the waking haze.
Less than 500 souls inhabit the 3 quaint streets and the few narrow by-lanes and scattered farmsteads that constitute this small, decaying, watering place, which may indeed be called a backwater of life, without disrespect to its natives, who possess to this day a salty individuality of their own. The main street, Coronation Street, consists for the most part of humble, 2-storied houses, many of which attempt to achieve some measure of gaiety by prinking themselves out in crude colours and by the liberal use of paintwash. Though there are remaining a few 18th century houses of more pretension, if on the whole in a sad state of disrepair. Though there is little to attract the hill climber, the health seeker, the sportsman, or the weekending motorist, the contemplative maid, if sufficiently attracted to spare it some leisurely hours, finds in its cobbled streets and in its little fishing hut, in its several curious customs and in the conversation of its local characters, some of that picturesque sense of the past so frequently lacking in towns and villages which have kept more abreast of the times. The one place of worship with its neglected graveyard, is of no architectural interest. The River Dewey is said to abound in trout, but is much poached.
The principality of the sky lightens now over our green hill into spring morning, larked and crowed and belling. Who pulls the town hall bellow but blind Captain Cat? One by one, the sleepers are rung out of bed this one morning, as every morning, and soon you shall see the chimneys slow, up-flying snow, as Captain Cat, in sailor's cap and sea boots, announces today with his loud get-out-of-bed bell. The Reverend Eli Jenkins, in Bethesda House, gropes out of bed into his preacher's black, combs back his bard's white hair, forgets to wash, pads barefoot downstairs, opens the front door, stands in the doorway, and looking out at the day and up at the eternal hill, and hearing the sea break and the gab of birds, remembers his own verses, and tells them softly to empty Coronation Street that is rising and raising its blinds.
Dear Gwennie, I know there are towns lovelier than ours, and fairer hills and loftier far, and groves more full of flowers, and boskier woods more blithe with spring and bright with birds adorning, and sweeter bards than I to sing their praise this beauteous morning. By Cada Idris, tempest torn, or moil weath's fast glory, Carneth Llewellyn, beauty born, Plinlimmon old in story. By mountains waking Arthur dreams, by Penmine Mower defiant, a ragged hill, the molehill seems, a pygmy to a giant. By Southie sunny Dovey Edu Eden Alador, tough and towy, broad and free, Cliff Nympt and its waterfall, Clywen Cladai, he lies down, Ellie Goodly Ogonith, small is our river doughy lord, a baby on a rushy bed. By Cerrig Kennan, king of time, our heron head is only a bit of stone with seaweed spread, where gulls come to be lonely. A tiny dingle is knotwood, by Golden Grove neath Gronga. But let me choose, and though I should love all my life and longer to stroll among our trees and stray in Cusco Glade on Donkey Down, and hear the dowie sing all day, and never, never leave the town.
The Reverend Jenkins closes the front door. His morning service is over.
Now, woken at last by the out-of-bed sleepyhead, falling on the kettle down hall bed. Lily Smalls, Mrs. Beynon's treasure, comes downstairs from a dream of royalty, who all night long went larking with her, full of sauce in the milkwood dark. Put the kettle on the primer string in Mrs. Beynon's kitchen, and looks at herself in Mr. Beynon's shaving glass over the sink, and sees.
Oh, there's a face. Where'd you get that hair from? Got it from an old tomcat. Give it back then, love. Oh, there's a fern. Where'd you get that nose from, Lily? Got it from my father, silly. You got it on upside down. Oh, there's a conch. Look at your complexion. Oh no, you look. Needs a bit of makeup. Needs a veil. Oh, there's glamour. Where'd you get that smile, Lil? Never you mind, girl. Nobody loves you. That's what you think. Who is it loves you? Chantal? Go on, Lily. Cross your heart there. Cross my heart.
And very softly, her lips almost touching her reflection, she breathes the name and clouds the shaving glass.
Lily! Yes, ma'am.
Where's my tea, girl?
What do you think? In the cat box. Coming up, ma'am.
Mr. Pugh, in the schoolhouse opposite, takes up the morning tea to Mrs. Pugh and whispers on the stairs.
Here's your last Nick, dear. And your little biscuit. I throttled your parakeets. I spat in the vases. I put cheese in the mouse holes. Here's your nice tea, dear.
Too much sugar.
You haven't tasted it yet, dear.
Too much milk, then. Has Mr. Jenkins said his poetry?
Yes, dear.
Then it's time to get up. Give me my glasses. No, not my reading glasses. I want to look out. I want to see.
Lily Smalls, the treasure, down on her red knees, washing the front step.
She's tucked her dress in her bloomers. Oh, the baggage.
PC artilleries, ox broad, barge booted, stumping out of handcuff house in a heavy beef red huff, black brown under his damp helmet.
He's going to arrest Garter. Mark my words.
What for, dear?
For having babies.
Lumbering down towards the Strand to see that the sea is still there. Morgan. At his bedroom window, playing chords on the sill. The morning fishwife guns, who, heckling over donkey streets, observe.
Me! Day bread! Hurry into the bakery, pushing in my shirt tails, buttoning my waistcoat. Here goes a button. Why can't they sew them? No time for breakfast. Nothing for breakfast. There's wine for you.
Me, Mrs. Dybread one. Captain Jordan, no courses. Nice to be comfy. Nice to be nice. Clogging on the cobbles to stir up the neighbour. Mrs. Sarah, can you spare enough love? Dybread. Forgot the bread. It's a lovely morning. How's your boys this morning? Isn't that good news? Change to sit down. Tell Mrs. Sarah.
Me, Mrs. Dybread too, gypsy to kill in a silky scarlet petticoat above my knees, dirty pretty knees, see my body through my petticoat, brown as a berry, high-heeled shoes with one heel missing, tortoiseshell coat and my bright, black, slinky hair, nothing else at all but a dab of scent. Lolling Gordy at the doorway, tell your fortune in the tea leaves, scowling at the sunshine, lighting up my pipe.
Me, no good boyhood, up to no good in the wash house.
Me, Miss Price, in my pretty print house coat, deft to the clothesline, natty as a jelly wren, then pit-pat back to my egg and it's cosy, my crisp toast fingers, my homemade plum and butter pat.
Me, Polly Garter, under the washing line, giving the best in the garden to my born and new baby. Nothing grows in our garden, only washing and babies. And where's the father's live, my love? Over hills and far away. You were looking up at me now. I know what you were thinking, you poor little milky creature. You were thinking, you're no better than you should be, Polly. And that's good enough for me. Oh, isn't life a terrible thing? Thank God.
Now frying pans spit and kettles and caps turn in the kitchen. The town smells of seaweed and breakfast all the way down from Bayview, where Mrs. Oswald Pritchard in smock and turban, big bosom to engage with us, picks at her starchless bread and sips lemon brine tea. The bottom cottage, where Mr. Weldon in Bollard and Bib garbles his bubble and squeak and kippers and sips from the sauce water. Mr. Pugh.
Remembers ground class as he chuckles his arm.
Mrs. Pugh.
Nags the salt cellar.
Willy-nilly postman.
Downs his last bucket of black brackish tea and rumbles out bandy to the clucking back, where the hens twitch and grieve for their tea-soaked socks.
Mrs. Willy-nilly, full of tea to her double-chin brim, broods and bubbles over her cabinet kettles on the hissing hot range, always ready to steam open the Beynon.
The Rev Eli Jenkins.
Finds a line and dips his pen in his cocoa.
Captain Cat in his galley.
Blind and fine fingers, savours his sea fry.
Mr. and Mrs. Cherry Owen in their Donkey Street rooms, in his kitchen, bedroom, parlour and scullery. Sit down to last night's supper of onions boiled in their overcoats, and broth of spuds and bacon rind and leeks and bones.
See that smudge on the wall by the picture of Auntie Blossom? That's where you threw the sable. Only missed me by an inch.
I always miss Auntie Blossom too.
Remember last night? In you reeled my boy, drunk as a deacon with a big wet bucket and a fish pail full of stout, and you looked at me and you said, God has come home, you said. Then over the bucket you went, sprawling and brawling, the floor all flagons and eels.
Was I wounded?
Then you took off your trousers and you said, does anyone want to fight? You backward.
Give me a kiss.
Then you sang Bread of Heaven, tenor and bass.
I always sing bread and pepper.
Then you did a little dance on the table.
I did?
Not dead.
Then what did I do?
Then you cried like a baby and said you were a poor drunk orphan with nowhere to go but the grave.
And what did I do next, my dear?
And then you danced on the table all over again and said you were King Solomon and I was your Mrs.
Oh, and then?
And then I got you into bed and you snored all night like a brewery.
In Beynon Butchers in Coronation Street,
The smell of fried liver silence out with onions on its breath.
and listen, in the dark breakfast room behind the shop, Mr. and Mrs. Beynon, waited upon by their treasure, enjoyed between bites their every morning hullabaloo. And Mrs. Beynon sits the graceful bits under the tasseled tablecloth to her fat cat. She likes the liver then.
She ought to, Bess. It's her brother's.
Do you hear that, Lily?
Yes, ma'am.
What, it's a pussycat?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, you cat butcher!
Oh, it was adopted mine.
What's that got to do with it?
Yesterday we had mole.
Oh, Lily!
Monday, otter. Tuesday, shoes.
Oh, what, Mrs. Beynon? He's the biggest liar in town.
Don't you dare say that to us, Mr. Beynon.
Everybody knows it, ma'am.
Mr. Beynon never tells a lie, do you, Ben?
No, Bess. And now I am going out after the court feast with my little favour.
Up the streets in the Sailor's Arms, Sinbad sailors draws a pint in the sunlit bar. The ship's clock in the bar says 11:30. 11:30 is opening time. The hands of the clock have stayed still at 11:30 for 50 years. It's always opening time in the Sailor's Arms.
Here's to me, Sinbad.
All over the town, babies and old men are cleaned, put into their broken prams, wheeled out onto the Sunday cobbles or out into the backyards under the dancing underclothes and left. A baby cries.
I want my pipe, and he wants his bottle.
Noses are white, heads picked, hair combed, paws scrubbed, ears boxed, and the children shrilled off to school. Fishermen grumble to their nets. No good boy, goes out in the dinghy, Zanzibar, ships the oars, drifts slowly in the dark-filled bay, and lying on his back in the unveiled water amongst the crab legs and tangled lines, looks up at the spring sky.
I don't know who's up there, and I don't care.
He turns his head and looks up at Claragate Hill and sees among the green lathered trees the white houses of the strewn away farms where dogs bark, farmers Convoys whistle, cows low, but all too far away for him or you to hear. And in the town, the shops squeak open. Mr. Edwards, in butterfly collar and straw hat, at the entrance to Manchester House, measures with his eye the dawdlers by for striped flannel shirts and shrouds and flowery blouses, and bellows to himself in the darkness behind his eye,
I love Miss Price.
Syrup is sold in the post office. A car drives to market, full of fowls and a farmer. Milk cans stand at Coronation Corner like short silver policemen. And, sitting at the open window of Schooner House, blind Captain Cat hears all of the morning of the town. Children's voices, the noise of children's feet on the cobbles.
Oh, Matti Richards, Ricky Rees, Tommy Powell, Hassan, little Gwennie. Oh, Billy Swansea with the dog's voice. One of Mr. Waldo's. Nasty Humphrey. Jackie with the sniff. Where's Dickie Humphrey? And the boys from Tea Pants. Perhaps they got the rash again. Oh, somebody's hit Maggie Richards. 2-1, it's that Billy Swansea. Never trust the boy who barks. Right again, it's Billy.
And the children's voices cry away.
That's willy-nilly knocking at Bayview. Rat-tat-tat, very soft. The knocker's got a kid glove on. Who sent a letter to Mrs. Ogmore Pritchard? Careful now, she swabs the front glassy. Every step's like a bar of soap. Oh, mind your size 12s. That's old Bessie with beeswax alone to make the birds slip.
Morning, Mrs. Ogmore Pritchard.
Good morning, postman.
Here's a letter for you, with stamped and addressed envelope enclosed, all the way from Bilth Wells. A gentleman wants to study birds, and can he have accommodation for 2 weeks and a bath? Vegetarian.
No!
But you wouldn't even know he was in the house, Mrs. Ogmore Pritchard. He'd be out in the morning at the bang of dawn with his bag of breadcrumbs and his little telescope.
It's come home at all hours covered with feathers. I don't want persons in my nice, clean rooms breathing all over the chairs.
I cross my heart. He won't breathe.
And putting their feet on my carpets and sneezing on my china and sleeping in my sheets.
He only wants a single bed. He's Ogmore Pritchard.
And back she goes to the kitchen to polish the potatoes.
Captain Cat hears Willy-nilly's footsteps heavy on the distant cobbles.
Morning, Mrs. Pugh. Mrs. Ogmore Pritchard won't have a gentleman in from Bilth Wells because he'll sleep in her sheets.
Give me the parcel.
It's for Mr. Pugh, Mrs. Pugh.
Never you mind. What's inside it?
A book called Lives of the Great Poisoners.
Oh, that's Manchester House.
Morning, Mr. Edwards. Very small news. Mrs. Ogmore Pritchard won't have birds in the house, and Mr. Pugh, he's bought a book now on how to do in Mrs. Pugh.
Have you got a letter from her?
Miss Price loves you with all her heart. Smelling of lavender today. She's down to the last of the elderflower wine, but the quince jam's bearing out, and she's knitting roses on the doilies. Last week she sold 3 jars of boiled sweets, pound of humbugs, half a box of jelly babies, and 6 coloured photos of Clare Gill. Yours for ever and ever and ever, and then 21 exits.
Oh, willy-nilly. She's a ruby. Where's my letter? Put it into her hands. No!
Mr. Waldo, hurry into the sailor's arms. Pint of stout with an egg in. Oh, it's a letter for him.
It's another paternity summons. Mr. Waldo.
The quick footsteps hurry on along the cobbles and jump 3 steps to the sailor's arm.
Gravesend bad, pint of stout, and no egg in.
People are moving now, up and down the cobbled streets.
All the women are out this morning in the sun. You can tell it's spring. Oh, there goes Mrs. Cherry. You can tell her by her trotters. Off she trots, news and Daisy. Who's that talking by the pump? Ah, Mrs. Floyd the Moyo. Talking flatfish. What's there to talk about flatfish? Oh, that's Mrs. Dye-Bread One, waltzing up the street like a jelly. Every time she shakes, it's slap, slap, slap. What's that? Ah, Mrs. Butcher Beynon with her pet black cat. Follows her everywhere, meow and all. Oh, there goes Mrs. 23. Important. Oh, the sun gets up and goes down in her julep. When she closes her eyes, it's night. High heels now. In the morning too. Mrs. Rose Cottage's eldest, May. 17 and never been kissed. Oh. Going young and milking under my window to the field with the nanny goats. She reminds me all the way. Can't hear what the women are gabbing round the pump. Same as ever. Who's having a baby? Who blacked whose eye? See Polly Garter giving a belly an airing? There should be a law. See Mrs. Beynon's new mauve jumper? It's her old grey jumper. Died. Who's dead? Who's dying? There's a lovely day. Oh, the cost of soap flakes. Morgan's at it early. You can tell it's spring.
And he hears the sound of milk cans.
Ocky milkman on his round. I will say this. His milk is as fresh as the dew. Half dew it is. Stuff alone, Ocky. Watering the town. Oh, somebody's coming. Now, the voices round the pub can see somebody's coming. Hush, oh, there's a hush. You can tell by the noise of the hush. It's Polly Garter. Hello, Polly. Who's there?
Me, love.
Ah, that's Polly Garter. Ah, hello, Polly, my love. Can you hear the dumb goose hiss of the wives as they huddle and peck or flounce at a waddle away? Who cuddled you when? Which of their gandering hubbies mourned in Milkwood for your naughty mothering arms and bucking like a wardrobe, love? Scrub the floors of the welfare hall for the Mothers' Union social dance. Your one mother won't wriggle her roly-poly bum or pat her fat little buttery feet in that wedding-ringed holy tonight, eh? Though the waltzing breadwinner snatched from the cosy smoke of the sailor's arms will grizzle and mope. Oh, too late, cock, too late.
And the town's almost over with this morning. The morning's busy as bees. There's the clip-clop of horses on the sun-honeyed cobbles of the humming streets, hammering of horseshoes, gobble, quack, cackle, tom-tit, twitter from the bird-ounced boughs, braying over donkey down. Bread is baking, pigs are grunting, chop goes the butcher, milk churns bell, tills ring, sheep cough, dogs shout, saw sing. Oh, the spring whinny and morning move from the clog dancing farms. The gulls gab and the rabble on the boat bobbing for at sea. And the curlew bubbling in the sand. Scamper of Sundays, Curlew cry, crow croak, pigeon coo, clock strike, bull bellow, and the ragged gapple of the beer garden Stewart, as the women scratch and battle in Mrs. Morgan's general shop, where everything is sold. Custard, buckets, henna, wax traps, shrimp nets, sugar, stamps, confetti, hatchets, paraffin, whistles.
Mrs. Ogmore Fisher.
La-di-da.
Got a man in Belfwell's.
And you got a little telescope to look at her.
Willy-nilly said.
Remember her first husband? He didn't need a telescope.
He looked at them and dressing through the keyhole.
And he used to shout, "Tally ho!"
But Mr. Ogmore was a proper gentleman.
Even though he hanged his collie.
See Mrs. Butcher Beynon.
She said Butcher Beynon put dogs in the mincer.
Oh, go on, he's pulling her leg.
Now don't you dare tell her that. There's a dear.
Oh, she'll think he's trying to pull it off and eat it.
There's a nasty lot lived here when you come to think.
Look at that no good boy now.
Too lazy to wipe his snout.
And going out fishing every day. And all he ever brought back was a Mrs. Samuels.
Been in the water a week.
And look at Ocky Milkman's wife that nobody's ever seen.
He keeps her in the cupboard with the empties.
And they have died then with 2 wives.
One for the daytime, one for the night. Men are brute, some are quiet.
And how's Organ Morgan, Mrs. Morgan?
You look deadbeat. It's organ all the time. We're there.
Up every night until midnight, playing the organ.
Oh, I'm about to music.
Outside, the sun springs down on the rough and tumbling town. It runs through the hedgerows of Goosegog Lane, cuffing the birds to sing. Spring whips green down Cockle Road, and the shells ring out. Clare gig, this snip of a morning, is wild fruit and warm, its street, fields, sands and waters springing in the young sun. Evans the dragon presses hard with black gloves on the coffin of his breast, in case his heart jumps out.
Where's your dignity? Lie down!
Spring stirs gossamer Beynon, school mistress like a spoon.
What can I do? I'm never going to find if I twitch.
The sun and the green breeze, ship Captain Cat, sea memory again.
No! I'll take the mulatto, but God, who's captain here? Parlez-vous, zig-zig, madame?
And in willy-nilly the postman's dark and sizzling damp, tea-coated misty pygmy kitchen, where the spitting cat kettles throb and hop on the range. Mrs. Willy-nilly steams open Mr. Mogg Edwards' letter to Miss Mavanwy Price and reads it aloud to Willy-nilly by the squint of the spring sun through the one sealed window running with tears.
From Manchester House, Dragegate, sole prop Mr. Mogg Edwards led to Twit. Lille dread Harvard Dutch Master Taylor Costumier. For West End negligee, lingerie, tea gowns, evening dress, trousseau layettes. Also ready to wear for all occasions. Economical outfitting for agricultural employment, our speciality. Wardrobes bought. Among our satisfied customers, ministers of religion and JP. Fitting by appointment, advertising weekly in the 12th Bugle. Beloved Mavanwy Price, my bride in heaven.
I love you till death do us part, and then we shall be together forever and ever. A new parcel of ribbons has come from Carmarthen today. All the colours in the rainbow. I wish I could tie a ribbon in your hair, a white one, but it cannot be. I dreamed last night you were all drip and wet, and you sat on my lap as the Reverend Jenkins went down the street. I see you got a mermaid in your lap, he said, and he lifted his hat. He is a proper Christian. Not like Cherry Owen, who said, you should have thrown her back, he said. Business is very poorly. Polly Garter bought 2 garters with roses, but she never got stockings, so what is the use, I say? Mr. Waldo tried to sell me a woman's nightie, outsize. He said he found it. And we know where. I sold a packet of pins to Sinbad sailors to pick his teeth. If this goes on, I shall be in the workhouse. My heart is in your bosom, and yours is in mine. God be with you always, Vivanwi Price, and keep you lovely for me in his heavenly mansion. I must stop now and remain your eternal Mog Edwards.
And then a little message with a rubber stamp. Shop at Mog's.
And willy-nilly, rumbling, jockeys out again to the 3-seated shack called the House of Commons, in the back where the hens weep, and sees in sudden springshine herring gulls heckling down to the harbour where fishermen spit and prop the morning up, and eye the fishy sea, smooth to the sea's end as it lulls in blue. Green and gold money, tobacco, tinned salmon, hats with feathers, pots of fish paste, warmth for the winter to be, weave and leap in it, rich and slippery in the flash and shapes of fishes through the cold sea streets. But with blue lazy eyes, the fishermen gaze at that milk-mild whispering water, with no rock or ripple, as though it blew great guns and serpents and typhoon the town.
Too rough for fishing today.
And they thank God, and Bobbard a gull for that. And Moslow and silent, they make their way uphill from the still sea towards the Sailor's Arms. Mrs. Diebread 1 and Mrs. Diebread 2 are sitting outside their house in Donkey Lane, one darkly, one plumply, blooming in the quick, dewy sun. Mrs. Diebread, too, is looking into a crystal ball, which she holds in the lap of her dirty yellow petticoat, hard against her hard, dark thighs.
Cross my palm with silver. Out of our housekeeping money. Oh.
What do you see, Rabbit?
I see a feather bed with 3 pillows on it. There's a text above the bed. I can't read what it says. There's great clouds blowing. Now they have blown away. God is love, the text says.
That's our bed.
And now it's vanished. The sun's spinning like a top. Ooh. Ooh. Who's this coming out of the sun? It's a hairy little man with big pink lips. He got a wall eye.
It's Diebread.
Shh. The feather bed's floating back. The little man's taking his boots off. He's pulling his shirt over his head. He's beating his chest with his fists. He's climbing into bed.
Go on, go on.
There's 2 women in bed. He looks at them both, with his head cocked on one side. He whistles through his teeth. Now he grips his little arms round one of the women.
Which one? Which one?
I can't see anymore. There's great clouds blowing again.
Oh, not me, no clouds. The morning is all singing. The Reverend Eli Jenkins, busy on his morning call, stops outside the welfare hall to hear Polly Garter as she scuds the floor for a Mothers' Union dance tonight.
I loved a man whose name was Tom. He was strong as a bear and 2 yards long. I loved a man whose name was Dick. He
We are a musical nation.
The Reverend Jenkins hurried on through the town to visit the sick with genuine poems. Oh, the town's as full as a lovebird's head.
There goes the Reverend.
Said Mr. Walwood, smoke-carrying brown window of the unwashed sailor's arms.
His brolly and his oats. Fill 'em up, Sinbad. I'm on the treacle today.
The silent fishermen flushed down their pants.
Oh, Mr. Waldo,
Sighed Sinbad's sailors.
I don't on that gossip of Beynon.
Love sings the spring. The bed spring grass bounces under birds, bumbles and lines. And Gossamer Beynon, school teacher, spoon stirred and quivering, teaches her slumberty gullion class.
It was a love and grass, with a hay and a hoe and a hay
Now. Your accents, children. It was a lover and his lass with a hen and a hoe and a hay nonny no.
Oh, Mr. Waldo,
Sighed Sinbad's sailors.
she's a lady all over.
And Mr. Waldo, who was thinking of a woman as soft as Eve and as sharp as sciatica to share his bread pudding bed, answers.
No lady that I know is.
And if only Grandma died, oh, cross my heart, Mr. Waldo, I'd get down on my knees and I'd say, Miss Gossip.
Polycarp sings, still on her knees.
Tom, Dick and Harry were 3 fine men, and I'll never have such loving again.
And the morning school is over, and Captain Cat at his curtained schooner's porthole open to the spring sun tides. Here's the naughty forfeiting children, up on the rhyme on the cobbles.
Gwennie, hold the boys! They make such a noise!
Boys, come along to me.
Boys, is Granny what she says? I'll give her a penny. Go on, Granny.
Kiss me in Goose Lane, or give me a penny. What's your name?
Billy.
Kiss me in Goose Lane, Billy, or give me a penny, silly.
Gwenny, I kiss you in Goose Lane. Now I have from God to give you a penny.
Boys, is Granny what she says? I'll give her a penny. Go on, Granny.
Kiss me on Flanagan Hill, or give me a penny. What's your name? Kiss me on Flanagan Hill, Johnny Cristo, or give me a penny, mister.
Gwennie, I kiss you on Flanagan Hill. Now I don't have to give you a penny.
Boys, is Granny what she says? I'll give her a penny. Go on, Granny.
Kiss me in Milkwood, or give me a penny. What's your name?
Dicky,
Kiss me in Milkwood, Dicky, or give me a penny, quickly.
Gwennie, I can't kiss you in Milkwood.
Granny asking why.
Why?
My mother says I mustn't.
Granny, a penny.
Give me a penny.
I haven't got any.
What did you tell me about to his liver?
Quick, Daddy, let's beat him on the And the shrill girls giggle and master around him, and squeal as they clutch and thrash. Then he blubbers away downhill with his patched pads falling, and his tears splash and blush burns all the way, as the triumphant bird-like sisters scream with buttons in their claws, and the bully brothers hoot after him his little nickname, and his mother's shame, and his father's wickedness,
with the loose, wild, barefoot women of the hovels of the hills. It all means nothing, is all. And howling for his milky mouth, for her cow and buttermilk and cow breath and Welsh cakes, and the fat, bird-smelling bed and moonlit kitchen of her arms. He'll never forget as he paddles blind home through the weeping end of the world. Then his tormentors tussle and run to the Cockle Street sweet shop, their pennies sticking to buy from Mr. Fanny Price, who is cocky and neat and a puff-bosom robin, and her small round buttocks tight as tits, gobstoppers, big as wings that rainbow as you suck, brandy balls, wine gums, hundreds of thousands, licorice, sweet as sick, nougat to tug and ribbon out like another red rubbery tongue, gum to glue in girls' curls, crimson cough drops to spit blood, ice cream cornets, dandelion and burdock, raspberry and cherry, pop goes and weasel, and the wind. Gossamer Beynon, high heels out of swoon. The sun hums down through the cotton flowers of her dress, into the bell of her heart, and buzzes in the honey there, and couches and kisses, lazy loving and bruised in her red buried breast. Eyes run from the trees and windows of the street, steaming past and strip her to the nipples and the knees. She blazes naked past the sailor's arms, the only woman on the die-atomed earth. Sinbad sailors, places on her thighs, still dew damp from the first man-growing and cock-crow garden, his reverent goat-bearded hands.
I don't care if he's common,
she whispers to her salad day deep set.
I want to gobble him up.
I don't care if he does drop his H's. She tells the stripped and mother of the world, big-beamed and eve-hit spring of herself.
So long as he's all cucumber and hooves.
Sinbad sailors watches her go by, demure and proud and schoolmarm in her crisp flower dress and sun-defying hat, with never a look or lilt or wriggle. The butcher's unmelting, ice-maiden daughter, veiled forever from the hungry hug of his eyes.
Oh, Gossamer Beynon, why are you so proud?
He grieves to his Guinness.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful Gossamer Bee. I wish that you were for me. I wish that you were not so educated.
She feels his goat heels tickle her in the middle of the world like a tuft of wiry fire. As she turns in a terror of delight away from his wits and whiskery conflagration, and sits down in the kitchen to a plate peaked high with chips and the kidneys of lambs.
In the blind drawer, dark dining room, schoolhouse, dusty and air cool. There's a dining room in a vault. Mr. and Mrs. Pugh are silent over cold, grey cottage pie. Mr. Pugh reads as he forks the shroud meat in from Lives of the Great Poisonous.
He has bound a plain brown paper cover on the book. Slight, between slow mouthfuls. He side spies up at Mrs. Pugh, poisons her with his eye, then goes on reading. He underlines certain passages and smiles in secret.
Persons with manners do not read at table,
Says Mrs. Pugh. She swallows a digestive tablet as big as a horse pill and washes it down with cloudy, pea-soaked water.
Some persons were brought up in pigsties.
Pigs don't read at table, dear.
Bitterly, she flicks dust from the broken cruet. Settles on the pie in that rain.
Pigs can't read, my dear.
I know one who can.
Alone, in the hissing laboratory, is chase. Mr. Pugh minces among bad bats and germs, tiptoes through spinnings of murdering birds, and dances in his crucibles, and minces especially for Mrs. Pugh. A venomous porridge unknown to toxicologists, which will scold and viper through her, until the ears fall off like figs. Her toes go big and black as balloons, and steam comes screaming out of her navel.
You know best, dear.
Says Mr. Pugh, and quick as a flash she ducks her in rat soup. Ah!
What's that book by your trough, Mr. Pugh?
It's a theological work, my dear. Lives of the great saints.
Mrs. Pugh smiles. Icicle falls in the cold air of the dining vault.
I saw you talking to a saint this morning. Saint Polly Garter. She was martyred again last night. Mrs. Morgan saw her with Mr. Waldo.
When they saw me, they pretended they were looking for a nest. Well, you don't want to see long combinations, I said to myself, like Mr. Waldo was wearing. And you were dressed in over your head like Polly Garters.
Oh, you didn't fool me.
When you think of all those babies she's got, then all I can say is she better give a bird nest in, that's all I can say. It isn't the right kind of hobby at all for a woman who can't say no, even to midgets. Remember Bob Spit? He wasn't any bigger than a baby and he gave her two. They are nice boys though, Fred Smith and Arthur, I will say that. Sometimes I like Fred best and sometimes I like Arthur. Who do you like best, Organ?
Without any doubt, a bark.
Organ, you haven't been listening to what I said. It's Organ all the time with you.
She bursts into tears. And then Palestrina says organ.
And I'll never have such flooding again.
Pretty Polly hums and longs.
Now when farmers' boys on their first fair day come down from the hills to drink and be gay, before the sun sinks, I'll lie then in their arms for their good bad boys from the lonely farms. But I always think as we tumble into bed of little Willie Wee, who is dead, dead, dead.
The sunny, slow, lulling afternoon dawns and moons through the dozy town. The sea lulls, laps, and idles in. The fishes sleeping in its lap. The meadows still Sunday. The shut-eyed tasseled blooms. The goat and daisy dingles, not happy and lazy. The dumb duck ponds snooze. Clouds, sad and pillows from a planet hill. Pigs grunt in a wet wallow. You smile, and snort, and do. Donkeys angelically drowse on donkey down.
Hassan with manners.
Snaps Mrs. Pugh.
Do not know at table.
Mr. Pugh cringes awake. He puts on a soft, soothing smile. It is sad and grey under his nicotine egg yellow, weeping walrus Victorian moustache will make a long memory of Dr. Clifford.
You should wait until you retire to your style.
Says Mrs. Pugh, sweet as a razor. His fawning measly quarter smile freezes. Slut and silent, he foxes into his chemist's den in a hiss and russet circle of cauldron piles brimful with hops and the black yak. Cooks up a fricassee of deadly nightshade, nicotine, cyanide, hot frog and bat spit for his needling stalactite hat at bed now of a poker bat, a nutcracker wife!
I beg your pardon, my dear.
He murmurs with a wheedle.
Captain Cat at his window, thrown wide to the sun, and the clear seas sailed long away, when his eyes were blue and bright. Slumbers and voyages. Earringed and rolling, I love you, Rosie Proper, tattooed on his belly. He brawls with broken bottles in the funk and babble of the dark dock room bars. Roves with a herd of short and good time cows in every naughty port. And twines and souses with the drowned and lousy breasted dead. He weeps as he sleeps and says, one voice of all he remembers most dearly as his dream of buckets down. Lazy early Rosie with the flaxen thatch, who he shared with Tom Fred the donkey man and many other seamen. Clearly and near to him speaks from the bedroom of her dust. In that gulf and haven, fleets by the dozen, anchored for a little, heaven of the night. But she speaks to Captain Napping Cat alone, Mrs. Probert.
From Duck Lane, Jack. Quack twice and ask for Rosie.
The one love of his sea life, that he sardined with women.
What seas did you see, Tomcat, in your sailoring days long, long ago? What sea beasts were in the wavery green when you were my master?
I'll tell you the truth. Seas barking like seals, blue seas and green, seas covered with eels and mermen and whales.
What seas did you sail, old whaler, when, on the blubbery waves between Fisco and Wales, you were my boatswain?
As true as I'm here, dear you, Tomcat's tart, you landlubber Rosie, you cozy love, my easy as easy, my true sweetheart. Seas green as a bean, seas gliding with swans in the seal-barking moon.
What seas were rocking my little deckhand, in my favourite husband in your sea boots and hunger, my duck, my whaler, my honey, my daddy, my pretty sugar sailor, with my name on your belly when you were a boy, long, long ago.
I'll tell you no lies. The only sea I saw was the seesaw sea, with you riding on it.
Lie down. Lie easy. Let me shipwreck in your eyes.
Knock twice, Jack, at the door of my grave and ask for Rosie.
Rosie, Robert.
Remember her, she is forgetting. The earth which filled her mouth is vanishing from her. Remember me, I have forgotten you. I am going into the darkness of the darkness forever. I have forgotten that I was ever born.
Look, says a child to a mother as they pass by the window of schoolhouse.
Captain, cat is crying.
Come back! Come back!
Crying all over his nose.
Says the child. Mother and child move on down the street.
He's got a nose like strawberries.
The child says, and then she forgets him too. She sees in the still middle of the blue black bay no good boy or fishing from the Zanzibar. Hoyle catches a whale bone corset. It's all he's caught all day.
Bloody funny fish.
Mrs. Di read two gypsies up with a slow mind's eye, dressed only in a bangle.
She's wearing her nightgown. Would you like this nice, wet corset, Mrs. Dybread, too?
No, I won't.
And a bite of my little apple.
He offers with no. She shakes her brass nightgown and he chases her out of his mind. And when he comes resting back, there in the bloodshot centre of his eye, a geisha girl grins and bows in a kimono of rice paper.
I want to be good, boyo. Nobody will let me.
Sighs as she rides politely. The land fades. The sea floats silently away. And through the warm white clouds where he lies, silky, tingling, an easy Eastern music, and does him in a Japanese minute.
The afternoon buzzes like lazy bees round the flowers, round Mayro's cottage. Nearly asleep in a field of nanny goats who hum and gently butt the sun, she blows love on a puffball.
He loves me. He loves me not. He loves me. He loves me not. He loves me, the dirty old fool.
Lazy she lies alone in a field of clover and sweet grass. 17 and never been sweet in the grass, ho ho. Reverend Eli Jenkins, inky in his cool front parlour or polling room, tells only the truth in his life work. The population, main industry, history, shipping, topography, flora and fauna of the town he worships in, the White Book of Clare him. His mother, propped against the pot in her palm, with her wedding ring waist and bust like a black cloth dining table, suffers in her stays.
Oh, angels, be careful there with your knives and forks.
He prays. There is no known likeness of his father, Esau, who, undoctored because of his little weakness, was scythed to the bone one harvest by mistake, whilst sleeping with his weakness in the corn. He lost all ambition and died with one leg.
Poor Dad,
Grieves the Reverend Eli.
to die of drink and agriculture.
The coming of the end of the spring day is already reflected in the lakes of the cow's great eyes. Bessie Bighead greets them with the names she gave them when they were maidens.
Meg, Meg, Buttercup, Moll, Stand from the Garter, Theodosia, and Daisy.
They bow their heads. Look up, Bessie Bighead, in the White Book of Clare Gibb, and you will find the few haggard rags and the one poor glittering thread of her history laid out in the pages there with as much love and care as the lock of hair of first lost love. Conceived in Milkwood, born in a barn, wrapped in paper, left on a doorstep. Big-headed and bass-voiced, she grew in the dark. Until long-dead Gomer Owen kissed her when she wasn't looking because he was dead. Now, in the lights, she'll work. Sing, milk, say the cow's sweet names, and sleep until the night sucks out her soul and spits it into the sky. In her lifelong low light, holily, Bessie milks the fond lake-eyed cows as the dusk shadows slowly down over fire, sea, and town. Now the town is dusk. Each cobble, donkey, goose, and gooseberry street is a thoroughfare of dusk. And dusk and ceremonial dust, and night's first darkening snows, and the sleep of birds drift under and through the live dusk of this place of love. Carragin is the capital of dusk. Mrs. Ogmore Pritchard, at the first drop of the dusk shower, seals all her sea-view doors, draws her germ-free blinds, sits erect as a dry dream in a high-backed, hygienic chair, and wills herself to cold, quick sleep. At once, twice, Mr. Ogmore and Mr. Pritchard, who all day long have been gossiping like ghosts in the woodshed, planning the loveless destruction of their glass widow, reluctantly sigh and sidle into her clean house.
You first, Mr. Ogmore. After you, Mr. Pritchard. No, Mr. Ogmore. You widow first.
And in through the keyhole with tears where their eyes once were, they ooze and grumble.
Husband!
She says in her sleep, there is acid love in her voice for one of the two shambling phantoms. Mr. Ogmore hopes that it is not for him. So does Mr. Pritchard.
I love you both.
Oh, Mrs. Ogmore. Oh, Mrs. Pritchard.
Soon it will be time to go to bed. Tell me your tasks in order.
We must take our pajamas from the drawer marked pajamas.
And then you must take them off.
Down in the dusting town, Maymore's cottage, still lying in clover, listens to the nanny goat's stew, draws circles of lipstick round the nipples.
I'm fast. I'm a bad lot. God will strike me dead. I'm 17, I'll go to hell.
She tells the goats.
Just you wait. I'll sin till I blow up.
She lies deep, waiting for the worst to happen. The goats champ and sneer. And at the doorway of Bethesda House, the Rev Jenkins recites to Ragged Hill his sunset poem.
Every morning when I wake, dear Lord, a little prayer I make. Oh, please to keep thy lovely eye on all poor creatures born to die. And every evening at sundown, I ask a blessing on the town, for whether we last the night or no, I'm sure is always touch and go. We are not wholly bad or good, who live our lives under Milkwood. And thou, I know, wilt be the first to see our best side, not our worst. Well, let us see another day. Bless us this holy night, I pray, and to the sun we all will bow. And say goodbye, just for now.
Lily Smalls is up to no good boyo in the wash house. Cherry Owen, sober as Sunday, as he is every day of the week, goes off happy as Saturday to get drunk as a deacon, as he does every night.
I always say she has two husbands.
Says Cherry Owen.
One drunk and one sober.
And Mrs. Cherry simply says,
And aren't I a lucky woman? Because I love them both.
Evening, Cherry.
Evening, Sinbad.
What will you have?
Too much.
Well, the same arms always open.
Sinbad suffers to himself, heartbroken.
Oh, customer, open yours.
Thus is round forever, until tomorrow. It is all at once night now. The windy town is a hill of windows, and from the loud twigs, the lights of the lamps in the windows call back the day and the dead that have run away to sea. All over the calling dark, babies and old men are bribed and lullabied to sleep. Or their daughters cover up the old unwinking men like parrots, and in their little dark, in a lit and bustling young kitchen corners, all night long they watch, beady-eyed, the long night through, in case death catches them asleep. Unmarried girls, alone, in their privately bridal bedrooms, powder and curl for the dance of the world. They make, in front of their looking glasses, haughty or come hithering faces to the young men in the street outside and the lamp-lit leaning corners who wait in the all-at-once wind to whirl and whistle. The drinkers in the sailors' arms drink to the failure of the dance.
Down with the waltzing and the skipping.
Dancing isn't natural.
Right to sleep, says Cherry Owen, who has just down 17 pints of flat, full, thin Welsh bitter beer. Farmer's lantern glimmers, a spark on Clare hillside. Clare Hill, writes the Reverend Jenkins in his poem book.
That mystic tumulus, the memorial of peoples that dwelt in the region of Peregrine before the Celts left the land of summer and before the old wizards made a wine out of flowers.
And Mr. Weldon, in his corner of the sailor's arms, sings.
climbs into his bunk. Like a cat, he sees in the dark. Through the voyages of his tears, he sails to see the dead.
Dancing, Williams!
Still dancing.
John and Jarvis!
Still?
Kelly Bevan's skull.
Rosie, with God, she has forgotten dying.
The dead come out in their Sunday best. Listen to the night breaking. Organ Morgan goes to chapel to play the organ. He sees bark lying on a tombstone.
Johann Sebastian.
Oh?
Oh, Johann Sebastian, oh, Bar. Mighty Bar.
Says Cherry Owen, who is resting on a tombstone on his way home. Mr. Mogg Edwards and Miss Naomi Price, happily apart at the top and sea end of the town, write their every night letters of love and desire. In the warm white book of Peregib, you will find the little maps of the islands of their contentment.
Oh, my Mog, I am yours forever.
And she looks around with pleasure at her own neat, never dull room that Mr. Mogg Edwards will never enter.
Come to my arms, me Fanny.
And he hugs his lovely money to his own heart. And Mr. Waldo, drunk in the dusky wood, hugs his lovely collie Garter under the eyes and rattling tongues of the birds and the neighbours, and he does not care. He smacks his live red lips. But it is not his name that Polly Garter whispers as she lies under the oak and loves him back. 6 feet deep, that name sings under the cold earth.
But I always think, as we tumble into bed, of little Willie Wee, who is dead, dead, dead.
The thin night darkens. A breeze from the creased water sighs the streets close under milk-waking wood. The wood whose every 3 foot's cloven in the black, glad sight of the hunters of lovers. That is a God-built garden. To those who know, there is heaven on earth, and the chosen people of his kind fire in Claregib's land. That is the fair day farmhands wantoning ignorant chapel in bright beds. Until the Rev Eli Jenkins, a green-leaved sermon on the innocence of men, the suddenly wind